What's up, you guys? My name's Wolf, and welcome back to LEGO Arts. So in our last episode, we did a showcase on the Black Swordsman Kirito remake minifigure. So for this one is going to be a review slash a showcase. Okay, so as you can see, we have, with our two minifigures, we have Minifig-Madness Battison V2 slash V3, otherwise known as Rob Pattinson's The Batman. Batman from the movie The Batman, supposed to be coming out in 2022. Now, this is actually a showcase that I've been wanting to do for quite some time now. So as you can see, we have Battison V2, and we also have Bruce Wayne here in here. So as you can see, like he's got the head from Battison V2, and this one is wearing the V3 version. So this was actually something that I ordered back in September, almost 4 months ago at this point. Like, when I first purchased this figure, I didn't know they were doing like a pre-order run, and for a while I almost thought that, like, is the custom being, like, pushed back? Could I maybe get a refund? And when I got confirmation that it's just, like, they were gonna wait to get all the orders in, and then ship them out, that made more sense. And due to the mailing system being completely backed up for obvious reasons, this kept getting pushed back for months, and the tracking system didn't get updated, and I kept waiting until finally yesterday the mail came in, and this figure was finally delivered. So at first I had just purchased the figure, but then after they released the V3 head, I wanted to get that as well. And with the other head, I decided to make a Bruce Wayne minifigure, and yeah, here we are now. So as you know, our drill. We're gonna take these minifigures one at a time, do review them, explain my process, why we're going this route, and then go from there. So, without further ado, let's get the pedestal out and get the showcase on the road. So, getting the review out of the way, we are going to look at Battison V2 slash V3. This looks really, really cool. Cool for a custom Batman minifigure, and a lot better than the last one. So, I don't have the first version, but they actually did a first version of this one that was sort of like a prototype version, back when I think they were doing, like, the suit screenshots. And shots back when, like, we got, like, the teaser for the Batman. And it was very different from this one. This one is much more, like, polished, more detailed, and it looks really well done. So, for some of the stuff looking at here, we can look at the torso here. So here, it's very gray, but the armor detailing matches up with, like, the trailers. And as you can see, we got, like, some printing on the arms. I always love that, and as you can see, I'm pretty sure I can't remove the arms, but as you can see, we got some printing on the sides of the torso. I always love that little extra milestone when it comes to customs. On the legs, as you can see, we got, like, some gray boots. On the sides, there's a holster, which I'm pretty sure is supposed to carry, like, smoke pellets or something. But we can see, like, some detailing on there, and same thing on the fronts. For some reason, the left leg is a bit more loose than the right leg. I'm not sure why, but it's not too big of a deal when I position him to stand. As you can see, like, he's also got some detailing on the other leg, as well. Now going more to, like, the head and the cowl. This looks much better than, like, the photos that I saw, because as with one of the other channels that I follow, Michael MGF, he reviewed this figure, and the paint detailing was very different from that, and that it was more like a standard black acrylic, like the same kind of black paints that I've used for a lot of customs. This one is a bit more glossy. See, it gives it more of that, like, shiny effect. So I really, really like it. And same thing with that armor piece. So let's go ahead and pull these off. Though first, let's get a look at that face. So they released the second, this other head after like when people were giving reviews on the previous head. It's a cool head, but when mixed with the cowl, it does look a bit off. So I do like it that they gave with this second head, and this is actually sort of a separate purchase as well. But I do like it that they included on the grease paint, and sort of like that faded effect, and when the cowl is positioned, do like a quick little look at the cowl again. When looking at the cowl, unfortunately, you do need to, like, position it in a specific way, so that way you can look at both eyes. And then on the back, you can see, like, these little divots back on there. They're not too biggy, but it does look a bit off. Same thing with like the jawline, but with the cowl, this actually fits more secure on this head than it does in the original head. So I definitely prefer this one more. more when it comes to the Batman figure. Now, let's remove this and look at this shoulder armor piece. This looks really fantastic. I do love it. I love it of how they've managed to sculpt out the design bit, especially like the collar piece and connecting like the armor bits on here. This definitely does save time. Save time for like when I start doing like my own Battison figure in the future. I'm planning on waiting until like we get more like footage and stuff so I get like a general idea. But that looks cool. And interestingly enough, they don't do the printing on this on like the shoulder pieces, which just kind of makes sense. Makes sense since the armor piece does cover it up. Now removing the cape, we can see it's a very thin cape, which I do like that. I like that. It matches up more. On the back though, you can see like the printing on the legs continue, but there is nothing on the back. It is completely blank, which I understand of why they chose that route because because at the moment we don't have a lot of idea of what's the back armor supposed to look like. And when you put on the cape, it covers it up pretty well. But other than that, it does kind of throw it off a little bit. It's like if you remove the cape, it does kind of throw off like that printing a bit. But maybe in the future they'll upgrade it to like when we get more of an idea of what the overall suit generally looks like. And overall, like with this suit, with this minifigure, there's room for improvements for what they can do in the future. But for now, I think this is a really cool figure. I really like it. I also do like it that they went with the extra mile of doing like a little bit of like detail work on the cowl itself. And the cowl is actually a pretty cool mold. It reminds me of, if we compare it to like the Dark Knight figure, there's some similarities here and there, but it actually matches up more with like Phoenix Custom's Dark Avenger, like cowl design. But this is still really cool, and I do like it that it has that like, again, that glossy paint. In effect, it looks nicer. It looks nicer. And overall, I'd say this is like a pretty cool figure to do. Again, and there's like room for like improvements for what they can do, like some changes in the future. But overall, I'd say this is like a pretty cool custom. And I'm really glad that this finally came in. And to wrap up this video, we have Bruce Wayne, a quick Bruce Wayne custom that I did yesterday in my free time, and this looks pretty cool. I really like it. So Bruce Wayne was actually a figure that I've wanted to do for a really long time, but for so long I wanted to do it like in a way for like sort of like that sort of suit swapping kind of detailing of how like Bruce could like fit on and could like put on the suit and put on like his regular suit and then change out into like the bat suit, kind of like in the movies and the TV shows, to like really match it up. But I kept pushing it off for a while because honestly it was I was more focused on like the more complicated projects. But finally when looking at both of these figures and decided that's just like, I have these other head, I have the second head, and I don't want to leave it lying around, especially with my cats, especially since one of my cats likes to get on my shelf and push off and just mess up with my figures. So I decided to give him a body, just to sort of like quick like little paint work. Like you could see, we position slightly, you could see like a little detailing on the torso, like sort of a suit. So we got the white shirt underneath with a tie. On the back, there's nothing really on the back, and just some simple black legs, and so just like a regular stylish hairpiece. This isn't like the definitive look for Bruce Wayne. I'm more of just put on that hairpiece to sort of like show like the various sort of like hairstyles Bruce Wayne's like had over the years. So this could like change it up to like any other sort of hairstyle. But removing that off, let's looking at the head. I really love the detailing that they did on the head. Like it's very unique, really well done. And I like it. It definitely works better for this figure than it does for the suit, for the bat suit. So if we remove that, get Battison back up here. So this is like the definitive version of the figure that like when you purchase like one of these figures. So we remove the head, put on like this head, his head. So at first glance, it kind of works. And it works pretty well. But if we put the cowl back on, it looks slightly off. It looks really off. Really off. The cowl, for some reason, is much more loose on here. Here, we can barely see his eyes. Completely. It almost entirely covers up his mouth. And also, so without like that black collar underneath and sort of like the black on the sides, it does kind of throw it off. This honestly looks more like a Halloween costume really than a definitive like Batman suit. But it does kind of look interesting of like when we just do this and put on the hair, it does kind of look like Bruce Wayne just removing the cowl and we see like his face underneath. He's underneath. But definitely better. But this definitely like looks better with the other, with like the other head. It's hang on. And so we'll push that aside for now. Get back the other and get back the standard custom, and we put it on here and here, and we got more of a Bruce Wayne appearance, and this looks much better, much better. And overall, in general, this is sort of like just a nice little project to do. Like nothing too complicated, nothing too drastic. Just a nice little simple thing, simple figure to make. And they definitely did like a great job on the head. I'm sorry if I'm like stuttering, but this was like a really cool thing to do. And I finally got to do a Bruce Wayne figure for like the Batman family. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to do. And aside from like the eyes on the cowl like completely being covered up and being super loose, this is not too bad of a head. Not too bad of a headpiece. Like if you put it on just a business suit, you get a Bruce Wayne. And overall, that's gonna pretty much do it for this showcase / review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'm a broken record for saying this, but this was an awesome figure. I really like how they did Battison in minifigure format. And I can't wait to see like what sort of changes they make to it in the future. So if you want to purchase like one of these figures, I'll include a link to their website in the description below. And below, you could go check them out because they do fantastic figures. And you can also follow them on Instagram to like get updates for future projects or current products that they have. And yeah, overall, that's gonna be it. So thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time in the next video. Bye bye.